Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to talk about your asymmetry and give people things to look at and try and identify their own asymmetry. So the first thing I notice is you're standing there, you're trying to stand nice and square, but you're relaxed, you're not trying to force yourself. Your right shoulder is further back, and yes, it is down, but it's more important how your shoulders are in relation to one another. So if you like, you've got a twist in your shoulders which pushes your right shoulder just further back. Obviously, if somebody's broken a collarbone, that can be a bit deceptive because your shoulder could be set anywhere. But basically, that's the first observation. Second observation, your head isn't quite straight. As you're standing there, you've actually got a tilt in your head to the left, yeah? And you're slightly, and I'm standing slightly to the left of you at the moment, so if I come around here, but you're naturally wanting your head to face slightly to the right as well. That tells me that you're actually tighter in the musculature around your right shoulder. So if you do me a favor, if you try and just without straining your neck, just turn your head until you basically can't turn it anymore to the right. Okay? And now try it to the left. And you can see that you can't turn it anywhere near as well to the left as you can to the right. Right. Okay. Right. So if we move down to the hips, with you, you're actually not as exaggerated as some people are. But if your right shoulder is further back, your right hip is generally more forward. Yeah. Okay? So we'll come to why all this in a minute, but it's just observations that you can look at your friend standing four square, or they can look at you and then they can pick things out. So the hip being forward on the right and the shoulder being backwards on the right, there's a twist going on through your spine. Yeah. So what causes that twist, that scoliosis? Okay, leg length imbalance. It's quite normal for a human to have leg length imbalance. So you, most probably, because your right shoulder is further back, your right hip is slightly more forward, you probably have a longer right leg. Yeah. That leg is normally, the longer leg is normally the dominant leg. So you kick a football with your right foot. Yeah? Okay. So what's it doing? This longer leg is pushing the pelvis up and slightly more forward as a compensation for the fact that you haven't grown a pair of legs that are perfect in length. Okay? So this right longer leg pushes your pelvis slightly up and forward on the right to compensate so you don't walk with a limp, which is fair enough. And it makes a slight deviation in the way that we carry our spine, and therefore that's also reflected in our shoulders. Barring the fact as well that you're right-handed, aren't you? So being right-handed and right leg dominant makes the whole right side of your body better muscle toned than the left. You'd describe your left as weaker. Useless. Well, not quite useless. Right. So let's now look at it as if you were sitting on a saddle. If you're sitting on a saddle, effectively your right seat bone is higher than your left seat bone because of that longer right leg. So when you sit, what actually happens is your pelvis or your seat bones want to sit equally on the saddle. So to do that, your pelvis has to effectively drop to the right. So you're a rider that we would diagnose as right-sided or sits to the right. So you cling on with your left leg. It's your left adductor muscle that is basically holding you in place. Yeah. Now you said earlier,
it feels, because my right is so strong, it feels like I'm clinging with my right, but I'm actually going to the right and clinging with
your left. Yeah. And the thing that tells you that you are basically clinging with the left is you can't use the adductor muscle on the left without also using your calf muscle. because the nerve that innervates the movement in your adductor also is the same nerve that innervates your calf. So that pulls on the Achilles tendon, which pulls your heel up. So that's why you don't feel like you ever got enough weight in your left stirrup, right? So also the fact that your body is, or your sense of balance is saying I'm falling to the right, that's what's naturally making you hold with that left leg. The other thing that you might do as a riding habit is you might carry your left hand closer to the horse's neck, and when you ask for a left bend, and you tend to sometimes indirect rein with that rather than open the rein. So is that all sort of ringing true?
I'm really intrigued with the clinging with the left leg rather than the right, how it feels when riding, because you go that way, it feels like you're pulling yourself over.
Well, you are effectively,
Actually, I'm thinking if I relax this leg more and put more weight into this boot bone, would that straighten me more?
No, because effectively, the only way you're going to straighten is to do effectively corrective saddle fitting for the rider as well as for the horse. Give you a platform that you can sit on that you feel level. If you walked with a limp, this is the best way of saying it. If your pelvis didn't compensate, you'd have a leg length imbalance. So then we'd give you an orthotic, something in your shoe to make the shorter leg slightly longer so you have a pair of legs. So when it comes to sitting in a saddle, your legs don't actually factor in that much. Everybody thinks it's stirrup length, and you would fiddle with your stirrup, but actually it's got nothing to do with it. It's your seat bones and how they're sitting on the saddle. So for you, you're sitting harder on your left seat bone, but you fall. Your pelvis is looking for the seat, and it has to drop further on the right because your seat bone is higher on the right. It has to drop, and it tilts you and tips you out the right door. So we give you more underneath your right seat bone to lift you and stabilize you. So even though your right leg is longer, effectively, your right seat bone is higher. So when you sit, we've got to support you on the right, and then that will also give your horse a more even workout. Does that make sense? Right, thank you. We'll get you on a horse next.